Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam.
From Hanoi, Vietnam. All right, guys, I think we're officially live. Sometimes it takes a few seconds, but can everybody that's in here right now let me know if you can see us okay, if you can hear us okay. We obviously got some traffic in the background. It's a noisy city. So yeah, just please let me know. Because right now I do see Harriet, Yuki, and Jim as the last message here. Oh, we got Irvin. Thank you very much. Jamie, thank you. I'll answer your question in just a second. And right off the bat, want to say a big thank you to Jim Ross for the super chat as always. Hope you're doing great, Jim, and have a good time at the rodeo. Very kind of you. All right, now the messages are rolling in perfectly. All right, we got Bruno from Rio de Janeiro. Amazing. Welcome, David. We got Takao Nakaya, thank you for coming out. AK, we got Rahul here, hello. Midnight Trader, Tarek, Juan. Oh, we got my mom, Privyet is Calgary, mom's here.
Yeah,
you can
Privyet.
say hi. All right, guys, so as you can see, I'm here with my dad, Gordy Magoo from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, hello everybody.
You've escaped the cold.
Yes, I did. Very cold.
Well, to be fair, you didn't completely escape the cold because as you guys can see, we are wearing jackets. I had to buy a jacket here in Hanoi because this is the northern part of the country, and in the night it's like 10 degrees Celsius and during the day it's like 15 to 20,
yes,
something like that. So the warmest thing that I had was like one pair of pants and one Lululemon sweatshirt, and it was quite cold. So I got this just like black jacket for 20 bucks, you know, just to kind of tide me over for this week. And then we're going to be going back to the plus 30 in Saigon next week. So it's going to be warm, but I was a bit surprised just what a difference in temperature it is here in the north of the country. Because we are basically on the border of China, right? It's like we're just close. We're just under China here. Oh, big thank you right off the bat to Harriet, Jim, and Yuki for the super chat. A beer for Gordy Magoo.
Oh, I see.
Might have to use it for a juice. He's more of a juice drinker than a beer drinker.
Yeah.
But thank you all the same. Very kind of you. And then a big thank you to Michael for the super chat. Hi, Alina. How are you and your dad doing? I hope you and your dad have a nice time. Thank you so much, Michael. Dad, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Better than back at home with minus 40 here.
Exactly. Well, and you got out just in time, like I think, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 days after my dad like left for the country. That's when Saskatchewan went from like a minus 10, which is already cold enough, to the minus 40.
Well, with wind chill, they said it was minus 47.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. So sending love and warmth to anybody still in the deep freeze in central and western Canada. It is very, very cold. Just reading your comments here, guys. One sec. Joseph says, I thought you guys were from Canada. We are from Canada. I mean, I'm originally from Ukraine, but you're born and raised Saskatchewan
Canada.
Prairies. So we are from Canada. Oh, we got somebody from Nepal here. Deepesh, welcome. Bruce Lumsden, hello from a farmer in Australia, making hay today. Well, hope you have a good day, Bruce. Gabriel from Buenos Aires, very cool. Thank you. We got Adi from Medan City, Indonesia. Kelsey from Oklahoma. We got people from all over the world. That's what's cool about YouTube and live streams. It's like we're all in different places and yet we can all be chatting and watching the same thing at the same time. Miguel from Guatemala. So cool. All right, guys. Well, today we are going to be going on a tour of Hanoi, but I originally wanted to do a tour of Hoi An. I think somebody had left a comment in the beginning of this live stream saying, what happened to your prior live stream? Unfortunately, the day that it was supposed to happen, it was just very bad weather, like lots of wind, lots of rain. It wouldn't have been a good quality live stream. And basically the whole time that we were in Hoi An, it was more or less flooding. So
Raining,
yeah, you've never experienced that kind of torrential rain before, you know, that's common, that can happen in Southeast Asia. So we were lucky to get even just like one day in the basically 5 days that we were there, so I could film a video. So I do have a good video of Hoi An coming out for you guys, but unfortunately we had to cancel the live stream because the weather really wasn't good. So instead, yeah, we're gonna be walking around Hanoi today, which I am excited to show you guys, but we basically just got here. Like this is only our second full day, or no, yeah, this is our third full day. We had 2 full days here, but I've had to spend them kind of filming and editing to catch up on work. Usually I would try and spend at least 4 or 5 days exploring a city before I do a route around the city, you know, walk it enough times. So I have a pseudo plan in place for today, but to be honest, I'm gonna probably have to use my dad's Google Maps at some point if I can't remember, you know, what leads where, because yeah, we just haven't been here that long, so we're gonna have to, you know, go on intuition. And then the other challenge is that the area that we're in right now, that we're actually staying in, this is the old quarter of the city. There's no sidewalks, so it's much harder to live stream and just walk around in general. So we're gonna walk through this area for maybe about 5-10 minutes, and then we are going to walk around this central lake that they have, that's really beautiful and that does have a sidewalk. So I do have a sort of plan in place, but just warning you guys that it's not going to be, you know, as detailed of a live stream tour as I usually like to do, because I just didn't have, you know, enough time to really get to know the city the way I'd usually do. Aw, thank you so much, Stephanie. Stephanie from Colombia, hello. Mr. HTL says, I'm from Estevan, Saskatchewan. It reached -49 the other night.
Yes.
Just a tad chilly.
Yeah.
Just a tad chilly. No, it's pretty cold, dude. Aw, thank you very much to Shigeru for the super chat. My dad actually recognizes your name. He's just like, I see Shigeru at all your live streams. Yeah. So hello to Shigeru. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, John's Journeys, for coming out. Jawlogs, thank you for coming out. Ukraine dude, thanks for coming out. Everybody, thanks for coming out. So first impressions, actually, before we get going, Dad, what has been your first impressions of Hanoi?
The traffic
Yeah.
and the motorbikes.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people say, oh, you know, Saigon, Ho Chi Minh, like much crazier than here in Hanoi. I would say no. From my experience so far, I would say it's much more chaotic here, because at least the areas that we've been in, the streets are much more narrow and you still get this crazy amount of traffic. So like you are just constantly like, you know, watching for motorbikes, especially when there's no sidewalks. You got to be real careful, you know, turning wherever you're turning, and they can come from all directions, right?
And walking across the street.
Yeah.
Can be a challenge sometimes.
Exactly. We're gonna be crossing some streets today when we go to the main circle. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like be real careful, and obviously having my phone. Overall, I would say I felt quite safe in Vietnam. Like overall, I think it's a fairly safe destination to visit. We haven't had any issues, but you know, just from what I have heard, you do have to be more careful if you're kind of showing your valuables, as you do in most places. So that's why I don't really want to do a live stream tour too much of the old quarter where there's no sidewalks, and where it would be technically easier for like somebody on the back of a motorbike to just like grab my phone. but we're gonna try and just like have me on the inside and my dad on the outside, and you know, more than likely everything will be fine. Like I said, I feel very safe here. Would you say you feel safe?
Yes.
Yeah. The people are really lovely here. It's very laid back, and I think if you are, you know, coming here, you don't have to worry about safety that much here. It's overall a very safe place. All right. Jen Wei asks, hi guys, it's been fantastic to follow your travels in Southeast Asia. Do you have any plans to go to Taiwan? Do you have any plans to go to Taiwan?
Not just at the present.
Not at the present moment, but definitely want to travel. I definitely want to see Taiwan sometime. And I think it was just in the last few weeks that I heard they are more open to tourism now, because for a while I remember actually looking up their requirements, and you needed, you know, like an extra PCR test, not as open as other countries. But I thought I read something recently where they are more open to tourism for vaccinated travelers now. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it this trip, but at some point, like 100%, I would love to visit Taiwan. Steve Butler says, hello from Weeki Florida. I've never heard of that name. Interesting. So proud of Dad being there with you.
Thank you.
Yes, very nice. Very cool. All right, guys. Well, we still have to pay for our coffees. I guess I'll show you where we are. We're on this really cool rooftop cafe that we've gone to almost every morning. It's called the Hanoi Coffee Station. Let me actually show you guys the view. It's got this really lovely mural. My dad got a matcha latte. I got a cappuccino. And then, yeah, you can kind of see onto the street from here, which are these very unique buildings, and they're very skinny. That's the first thing that you will notice when you come here, is that the buildings are actually quite narrow. And that is because when the French colonized Vietnam, they calculated property tax by the width of the building. So a lot of people, to save money on taxes, built the houses like very narrow and just had them very tall. So even though that, you know, doesn't work anymore, of how much they pay in taxes, they demolished that. The people still kind of continued this building style of building. So that's one of the first things you will notice when you come to Hanoi, is these very skinny buildings. Let's see here. Just reading your comments here, guys. Thank you very much to Melissa P. in Toronto. Very cool. And Mr. HTL, yeah, we were in Hanoi and wanted to go to the Golden Bridge, but unfortunately, like I mentioned, it was pouring rain every single day other than one day that I wanted to use to film my video. So unfortunately, we were not able to go to the Golden Bridge as I had planned because of the weather. So hopefully another time, because I do hear it is amazing. So yeah, you can kind of see onto the street here, people's homes. So yeah, this is the old quarter. This is kind of the most popular area for tourists to stay. And overall, I'd say, yeah, that makes sense that it is. But personally, if I was to stay here again, I would stay closer to the Opera House, which is the area that we'll be showing you guys later, because they have sidewalks. And I'm a fan of sidewalks. All right, let's go. And yeah, what's cool with these cafes is that a lot of them will actually be like 3 stories. So you have 3 different areas that you can possibly sit on. I have to be careful on these stairs. All right, I'm gonna concentrate on getting down the stairs, guys. So bear with me. The best place to sit is that balcony right there, but it was all full up when we came. All right, So yeah, grab the bill. Yeah. Actually, for reference, how much do you guys think our coffees were? Keep in mind this is like, you know, a touristy sort of place. Comment down below how much you guys think. Perfect. What? Very good. Perfect. So it's 100, yeah. So give her 100 and then put 10 in the tip box. Yeah, but perfect. Thank you very much. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye. All right. So we got some guesses. $4 for both, $250 USD. You're both very close. First of all, look at these other very steep stairs. Each coffee was more or less 50,000 dong, which is approximately $2 each, which considering, you know, it's a touristy place, is actually not that bad. Like my dad, you know, had a matcha plant-based milk latte, so you know, you have to expect that that kind of thing is going to be more. So yeah, you guys are pretty on the dot with how much it was. All right, so let's do a little we'll show people around, just like a street view here. So yeah, like I said, guys, this is the old quarter, much more historic part of Hanoi. Lots of different hotels, lots of different tourism sort of offices, just because there are a lot of great areas to see in the north of Vietnam. So honestly, it would be just as well to book your tours once you already arrive here. Probably less expensive than anything you're going to find online. So there's lots of that here in Hanoi. Lots of cute little businesses. Lots of scooters, as you can see. It's pretty crazy. Dad, can you come here for a second? I need you to hold the gimbal. I'm gonna put my purse over my thing. One sec. Great. Got everything? Perfect. Thank you very much. Thumbs up. Oh, we got a scooter coming. All right. My dad's actually adapted quite well to the traffic here, because this is about 5 million times busier than anything in Saskatchewan, right?
Way more,
Yeah. He honestly, I think the most fascinated that I've seen my dad so far on this trip is when we're in like a Grab taxi or something, and he is just like watching out the window all of the traffic. And also just the app Grab. It's basically the same as Uber, but you've never really like seen that kind of thing.
No.
So he was pretty impressed by like being able to order, you know, a car from basically anywhere, and then you know, have a driver come pick you up exactly at that spot and have everything GPS tracked. So
Driving that kind of traffic.
yeah, exactly.
Way better than back home.
Exactly. So yeah. All right, guys, let's head on out here. Oh my goodness, my friend Melissa is here. Hey girl, thanks so much for coming out. Sending you the biggest hug. Oh, a little yelling. Sending you a big hug as well, girl. Jenway says, was the restaurant where Obama and Anthony Bourdain had a long wait? Yeah, so if you guys follow me on Instagram, we went to that famous restaurant yesterday. It was epic. There wasn't a long wait, surprisingly enough. And yeah, you guys will be able to see in my video our whole experience. Мам, я не понимаю. Узкие улочки. Я не понимаю. Узкие улочки. Я неправильно читала. My mom says very narrow streets. Yes, definitely very narrow streets. Amazing. Aw, thanks so much, girl. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing great. Okay. All right, guys. So let's let's make this happen. We got Happy Time Hannah Spa in front of us. So I'm gonna be, I guess we do kind of have to go single file is what's hard, but yeah, I'm gonna keep my phone kind of facing this way, guys, just for safety reasons. I guess I can point it a little bit this way. Like I said, like overall, our experience with the people here are like amazing. You know, the people here are really kind. Sure, people are, you know, some people are trying to make you like buy stuff or whatever. I'm sure there's some regular tourist scams, but I wouldn't say this is a place where I'm like constantly like, you know, watching my bag or something, or I don't know, have really shady people come up to me or something. Like that's not the case at all. But once again, you know, shit can happen anywhere. So I'm just trying to be, you know, cautious with my stuff because this is, you know, a really expensive iPhone and I would prefer to have it with me for work. So let me give you another view here. Got a banh mi shop. My dad is a fan of banh mi. You like it, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Pretty good. That's kind of like a blend of French and Vietnamese cuisine, where obviously the French, no thank you, where the French brought over the baguette, the fresh bread that they make here for banh mi, and then the Vietnamese kind of filled it with their own fillings, like the cold cuts, the carrots, and the cucumber and stuff. So a blend of the two. Got people here cooking street food. Yesterday on the city tour that we did, we had some very good street food. As long as a place is like constantly turning their food over and lots of locals are eating there, that's when you know it's a good place and it's probably, you know, safe because they're constantly cooking it fresh. If food is sitting out for a long time, that might not be the best. Hey, good?
Yeah, I'm coming.
He's coming. All right. Thank you so much for the very kind comment about my dad, Ned. Very sweet of you. Oh, here's a good question for my dad. What is your dad's favorite Vietnamese dishes so far? You don't remember the name probably.
No, I don't remember.
Well, okay, you like banh mi.
Banh mi.
And then yesterday we tried boon cha, and I was actually...
Boon cha was good.
Yeah, I was surprised you liked it because usually he doesn't like noodles. So that was good. And then we've also had like chicken rice when we were in Hoi An. That was nice. And then you like the fresh rolls too. You really like that.
Good.
Yeah, so he likes lots of things. I think most things that we have, you know, tried
and the
here.
mango juice.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think my favorite thing that for my dad is all the fresh juices, specifically mango, because that's his like favorite fruit. Got a little boon cha stand here. Very nice. Looks like they're doing a group tour here. Actually, I remember this street. I think this street would be fine to go down actually, and then we'll come back. We walked down here yesterday, do you remember? On our tour. Yeah, this is kind of like a flower market and some shops. No, thank you. Yeah, let's walk down here. I feel fine giving you guys a little tour of this area, and then we'll go towards the lake. Because see, the nice thing about the old quarter here is all these cute little cafes, though I think the biggest challenge for my dad so far has been the stools, the little short stools that the locals use to like sit down.
Way too low.
Way too low for him, and he kind of, you know, has some troubles with his knees, so
with trouble with one knee, so it's hard to get up again. Hard to get
yeah,
down.
exactly. So
Way too low.
I think that's so far been the biggest issue for my dad here in Vietnam. So yeah, these guys here. But look at the flowers here. Like, yeah, we're kind of in the flower market here. And we were in the flower market in Saigon as well. And they were saying how the majority of the flowers are actually like from inside of the country. I had no idea that they grew such beautiful flowers here. So Very impressive. And then we got a market. Let's actually go over this side here. The produce here is also amazing, my God. Like so fresh, so flavorful. Probably doesn't use all the chemicals that we use in North America, which really takes the taste out of food. Wow, look at that. Very cool. Oh, hello to Ellie. Thank you for coming out. Indian Mastiff asks, have you visited Hanoi Hilton? And for anybody wondering, that's not asking about the hotel. That is actually the prison where initially the revolutionaries, like the Vietnamese revolutionaries, were put in prison by the French. And then later the prison was used for American prisoners of war. So yeah, that prison, How Lo prison, we actually went to yesterday. That's an important place to visit here in Hanoi. Grant says Hanoi looks like a continuous sidewalk sale. Fair enough. Thank you very much, Joe. Jenwei says it's 9 p.m. and this video is making me hungry. That's fair. There's a lot of great things to eat here. Yeah, if you're a foodie, I mean, both Hanoi and Saigon have like amazing options, especially like going on a food tour. If you guys saw my latest video of the one that me and my dad did, my God, we ate so much food in one 3-hour tour. It was wild. All right, so I think just because, yeah, like I said, I don't know, you know, the French Quarter super well yet. I don't want to take you guys too much in it and then get totally lost, and it's just more challenging because there's no sidewalks. So I think we're going to turn around and go back towards the lake, but first I just wanted to show you guys the view here. All right, so we can walk on the other side of the street, Dad.
Back the same way.
Yeah, back the same way, and then we'll keep going to the right. Let's go here. The fruit, you guys, it's so good. Okay. Actually, who that's in the chat right now has been to Vietnam before? I would be curious. Or is from Vietnam, obviously. Let me know. John's Journeys asks, what's the best breakfast to get here? Well, I've actually seen a lot of people eating pho, like the soup that's famous here in Vietnam for breakfast, which I found surprising. I didn't know that that could be eaten for breakfast, but that's what I see a lot of people eating in the mornings. Hello. And they also eat this type of like fried bread with it, which I found interesting. So that's the most common breakfast that I have seen. But you know, with globalization, as it happens, you can find a lot of different, you know, other things to eat for breakfast, you know, like the eggs, the cereal, I guess the more Western kind of stuff. So yeah, you'll get a mix of everything when you go to a restaurant for breakfast here in Hanoi. All right, so let's go on this side. Shivan says, I have a question. How did you get your dad to come to Vietnam?
She can persuade a person very good.
No, but it was your idea, technically. You said you just wanted to get away somewhere for the winter.
Yeah, but she found the plane ticket.
Yes.
$615.
Yes.
That was convinced me.
Yeah, okay. So we'll tell the full story when we don't have to be so focused on traffic of why my dad didn't come here when he was supposed to. We'll tell that story in a bit. But initially, yeah, I guess maybe what convinced my dad to come is once he said, no, thank you. Once he said that he you know, wanted to get out of Canada for the winter, and I was like, well, yeah, like, of course, come join me, you know, in Southeast Asia. And so he said, okay, sure. And so I started looking up plane tickets, and, you know, flying from Saskatchewan, usually it's going to cost at least, you know, an extra $200-300 minimum compared to the prices that you're going to get flying out of Vancouver or Toronto, because we're, you know, in the middle of the country. So I was expecting, you know, I'd be happy if I could get him a ticket to wherever we are in Southeast Asia for like $1,000 one way. That would be fine, because usually they charge you more for a one way than a round trip. So crazy enough, I just punched in Saskatoon, Ho Chi Minh, and a ticket came up for 615 Canadian dollars. That's like 500 US for anybody who doesn't know Canadian currency. So that's wild. Yeah. Sometimes you spend that much money just like flying across Canada one way. So as soon as we found that ticket, he was like, yeah, absolutely, booking it, you know, great price, I'm coming. So that's how, you know, he decided to come. But what ensued, that we'll get to in a minute. Unfortunately, he didn't quite get to use that ticket. So I'll tell you guys in just a second once we kind of get through this somewhat chaotic area. So let me just flip the camera. Oh, before I do though, just want to say a big thank you once again to Harriet, Jim, and Yuki for the super chat. Harriet and I have been. The food was so good in both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. The soup's delicious, Harriet and Jim. Yeah, the soups here are very, very good. And there's so many different kinds. Because yeah, I think the only kind that I had ever tried was pho. But then like on our food tour, we tried this really good soup that's like a specialty in Hue. And then bun cha, I mean, it kind of has a broth in it. So you could say it's a semi sort of soup dish. So very good soups here. So thank you once again, guys, for the super chat. Much appreciated. All right, let's keep on going. Yeah, Colby says costs more to go from Winnipeg to Toronto. Exactly. Like I flew, you know, to visit my dad in the summer from Calgary, and it was like yeah, $200 and some one way for an hour-long flight. Like absolutely ridiculous. Okay, we're gonna go this way. Okay, let's do this. Gotta watch from all sides. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Made it across. No, thank you. Yeah, so this is a big traffic circle coming up here, guys. Just gonna switch hands. We do have a bit of a sidewalk over here, so we're gonna get to that. Got the Grab drivers. And as you can see in front of me, that is the lake. Hanoi is actually known as the city of lakes because there are, I don't even know exactly how many, but just even looking on Google Maps, every like few kilometers, there's a lake. There's a lake, and it's great because you can kind of, you know, have a park area around them too. All right, how are we gonna cross here? Up here? All right. I need my full attention for the crossings, guys, so just bear with me. The best is if you can go with a local. That's the foolproof way to cross the street here, is you go at the same time as a local. All right, we're going. All right. Oh, fantastic. Great. We survived.
Yes, we survived. But there was a stoplight.
Yeah, I guess I didn't see that. I thought it was just a free-for-all.
That made it better.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. We can relax quite a bit now. So this is the beautiful lake right near the old quarter, and there is a temple that is in the middle of it. I guess we could go in there. We just have to pay for entrance. Just wanted to read your comments here. To Brian, who asked about being an adventure eater, we went on a food tour. That was my last video. We tried like a whole bunch of different Vietnamese food that isn't just like the regular stuff in my last video. So if you want to check that out, that's the last video I posted. Kameta, hi from Florida, hello. Somebody just asked, Alina, will you marry my son? He's in Canada. No, I'm good, thank you. I'm sure he's lovely, but I'm good with marriage proposals. Oh, for sure. Lightning says you should try durian fruit on camera. Yeah, you haven't had durian yet.
No, I
That's
guess
the
not.
stinky fruit, but like the king of fruits, probably one of the most expensive fruits in the world. So you got to try that while you're in Southeast Asia. And yes, Big D, I am wearing a jacket in Vietnam because it is like 16 degrees here right now. It is cold. Hello from Colorado. Amazing. Josele from Brazil. Hello. Amazing. All right. Lane says, oh, by the way, Lane's here. I don't think Lane's here. Say hi.
Hi, Lane.
Thanks for coming out, girl. She says, don't talk to me about being cold. Yeah, Lane is in the midst of it. No complaints in comparison whatsoever. Hope it warms up, girl. Oh my God. All right, so let me actually give you guys a view of this side of the street. Oh, so yeah, one fun thing that we did yesterday on our city tour was a cafe just down there. My dad, oh, you good?
Yeah, good.
He tried his first egg coffee. How was that?
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, first of all, my dad doesn't like coffee as is, but egg coffee, you can't really even taste the coffee really in there. Yeah, it's more of a dessert, you could say, where, let me flip the camera here, where how egg coffee came about in Hanoi, it started in Hanoi, but in all of Vietnam it became popular, is the French initially brought cappuccinos, I guess, here and stuff, and that became a popular thing. But during the war, food was much more scarce. They didn't have access to fresh milk, but what they did have was eggs. So what they would do is take the egg yolks and froth them up like crazy until they became this really light and creamy sort of consistency, and they would mix that with coffee. Now I believe they, add much more sugar in it as well, but that's basically what it is. It's like whipped egg yolks with coffee and sugar, and it just tastes like this very, very rich, very sweet, very creamy kind of consistency known as egg coffee. So I had tried it for the first time in Saigon. It was okay. It was definitely better in the cafe that we went to on the tour. Let's go down here. But you just have to do it. Like if you come to Vietnam, you 100% have to try egg coffee because I have never seen it anywhere else in the world. So it was very cool. So look how pretty this is, guys.
Very pretty.
See, this is nice because you can actually walk around this lake and you have uninterrupted, walkway. You don't have to worry about traffic. It's very nice. Oh, this is a comment for you, Dad, from, I can't read your whole username, but from King something. Your dad is very handsome.
Oh, yeah, right.
See, there you go. You got fans.
Maybe when I was 20.
Boy, you can still be handsome at any age. It's not just about youth. But thank you very much. Aw, thank you, Renee, watching from the Philippines. You are my idol. I hope to meet you someday. Thank you so much, Renee. Aw. Big thank you to Ken M for the super chat. Thank you so much. We'll get a nice warm drink after the tour with that. Much appreciated. Should we go? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go in the temple. I think it's like 20,000 a person, so we'll see. Mom wants to hear the story again. She says, ждем продолжение рассказа о Гордоне, как он добрался до тебя. Да, будем об этом говорить. Yes, we will tell the story after the temple here. Since we're at the temple, let's go in. I actually have not been in it yet, so this will be a first for all of us. And then we will tell you guys the story of, yeah, my dad's adventures to get here. Got music playing here today. So this is the No Soitve admission. All right. We buy ticket over there? Okay. Oh, we missed the freaking ticket office. Oops. I swear we were not trying to get in for free. I guess while we're here, we can show you guys these really beautiful gates that they have here. Yesterday, our guide was saying how, as far as religion goes in Hanoi, about 40% of the population is Buddhist. And then I think the secondary group was Christian, but it's only like 10%. Oh, another fun fact is that with a lot of the temples here in Vietnam, it is said that they always have a dragon and then a tiger on the outside of them to kind of act as protection for the temple, which is interesting. All right. All right, let's go. What in the world does that sound? Oh. So you can give them the tickets. Okay, thank you. All right, look at this. How beautiful. It's quite busy today, though. I feel like the last few days that we've walked by this temple, it hasn't been this intense. I don't know, can we get through here? You doing all right? Let's just get through here, guys. So many people. All right, let's just pause here. Got an opening. How lovely. This is like photo shoot central here today. And then see, there's like a little island over there with a little temple on there as well. Very cool. Aw, thank you so much to April Santos for coming out. You guys can go ahead, it's no problem. Hello to April from the Philippines. Thank you so much for coming out. April's been following me on Instagram and YouTube for quite a while, so I appreciate you for coming out. Let's see here, guys. Michael says with the currency, it sounds expensive if I don't know how much it is in US dollars. Yeah, that's exactly it. Oh, fuck. Okay, I don't know what to say. Right. Thank you. All right, let's just get into this temple here. Yeah, so yeah, if you don't know what the conversion is here, it sounds really high, right? When I actually got into Vietnam I like went to the ATM not having looked, up what the conversion rate was. And when it said, do you want to take out 1 million, 3 million, 5 million? I was like, wait, no, like I have to check, what the conversion rate is. I have no idea, how much I'm taking out. So yeah, it's basically one, let's say US dollars to 23,000 Vietnamese dong. So the Canadians, 18, 19, 20. I kind of rounded off to 20 to make it easier. But yeah, that's more or less the conversion rate, where 100,000 is kind of like $5. So yeah, look at this. Super beautiful. So I think we go this way. I don't know how this works. Let's just start. What I will say is the connection here has been pretty good.
Yes.
I don't know, knock on wood, pretend knock on wood. My reception here seems quite clear. We haven't had it go out anywhere, so that's something very nice. Because in Saigon, I remember even though when we were in the center, I was having it kind of go in and out. So let's hope that here in Hanoi, the connection stays well. Yeah, this kind of just looks like a little island with, I think there is a temple entrance on this other side. I just don't know if I should really live stream inside of it. Oh, this is pretty. This is nice. Yeah, look at this. This is beautiful. Well, it looks like people do have their phones in there, so maybe I can go in here. Aw, this is a nice comment. It's from Tom J. Bratt, says 83 years old, can't travel, but travel with you. Thank you, Tom in St. George, Utah. Thank you so much, Tom. That's very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
You can definitely still travel with the amazing invention of the internet that we have today. We did not have these kinds of possibilities just 20 years ago, so it is pretty cool. All right. All right, guys, let's go inside of the temple. It looks like other people are using their phones as well, so it should be okay. I'll just give you a little tour. So obviously, at every altar in many different religions, they always put different offerings. So here we have fruit, and I think that's beer or some kind of drink as well, some kind of chocolate and biscuits. So that's what we have there, with all this beautiful gold and red. They have Vietnamese calligraphy. Wow, that's cool. That would be a cool souvenir.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. Amazing. Take a look here. Oh, missed a super chat. Thank you so much to Shane from Sasky Bush. Thank you, Shane. Oh, whoops. All right, let me give you guys a tour in here. Oh, wow, this is really extensive. That's amazing. Yeah, so a lot of these temples, have Chinese origins because before the French colonized Vietnam, it was colonized by China. It was a part of China, so that is why you will see a lot of Chinese influence, especially here in Hanoi, because that's much closer to the border with China. Very beautiful. All right. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is lovely.
you can see the whole in front of us.
Thank you very much for the super chat to Lightning. Says, I am surprised that you are wearing a jacket in Hanoi. You wear shorts in Saigon. Well, I'm surprised too. I did not expect that, even knowing that the weather was going to be, you know, 15 to 20 degrees during the day. Somehow I forgot, you know, what that feels like. I thought, oh no, like I have a bunny hug, I'll be fine. Sweater, that's what a bunny hug is. I thought I'll be fine, but no, when you get here, and especially closer to the evening, like it gets cold. But I am sweating right now, so I actually do have to undo my jacket. So yeah, it's nothing like Saigon, where during the day sometimes it could be like 32, 33. So it's more or less a 15-degree difference, so it is pretty crazy. Let's see here. Got more photos here, but this is beautiful. So guys, I just had a realization. So for my YouTube video that I'm filming of Hanoi, I still don't have anything in this temple. So for about 3 minutes, I'm going to just walk around and grab some video on my other camera. I think I brought it. Let me just double check. Yeah, I brought it. So my dad is going to hold down the live stream so you guys can chat with him. Just be careful, don't click the button in the back.
Well, I can't read all that.
Well, maybe you can tell a story or something. Don't tell your ticket story.
No, I won't tell that story.
But yeah, you guys can ask my dad questions here. He'll try and read them. No promises that he'll be able to.
Yeah, no promises.
But maybe you can just tell about your experience so far in Vietnam, or like something you found interesting, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So I'll give you a minute. You don't have to follow me. You can
Well,
just
I
stay
don't
in one
follow
place.
you?
Yeah, I'm just going to go film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just face out this way then. No, I guess I'm on my own now, so. Yeah, my experiences in Vietnam, well, I guess first of all, the people are very friendly, everything. The food, really excellent. And scenery and places to see are just awesome. Traffic, chaos in some places. Yeah, hi Jamie and Janelle, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm natural. Yeah, maybe someday I can do this and be like my daughter and make a living doing this instead of doing these other manual jobs. Well, it's always awesome to travel with my daughter. She keeps me in line and keeps me from getting lost and stuff like that. I think we're in Vietnam till maybe about, well, just another day or two, I think. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of motorcycles all over the place. Yeah, we did a food tour on motorbike. Yeah. I don't have seen a lot of wildlife here or birds, you know, where we were. Yeah. Gee, you got a lot of messages. Oh, from Pakistan? Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Jim and Harriet? Yeah. Yeah, very awesome place here. So, here, I'll turn it around so you can see the background here. Look at that for beauty. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask my daughter about near the temple. We live in the old quarter there, a hotel. So, yeah, it's a beautiful place. Yeah, all the street markets, everything. Hope she doesn't leave me on this job too long. I can't talk as much as she does. She does a lot of good videos and everything, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's taken some videos over here. She has a smile on her face, wondering how I'm making out. Oh, she's hilarious. I could not get here on my own. She helps me with all my travel stuff and everything. Yes. Here she's back.
Doing?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Oh, so.
Thank you for keeping my dad company.
You asked me so many questions, I can't keep up with that.
Yeah, let's see here. What were you saying?
Oh, you can look and see what I say?
Well, no, I can't see. I can see what you say later.
Yeah.
But I can see what people asked you. Nice. Fantastic. Lovely. Well, thank you guys so much.
I said
All right.
you keep me in line and
That's right.
keep me out of trouble.
I
and
try.
couldn't do it without you.
Exactly. Well, you'll get better.
Yeah.
That's why one thing that I've been trying to do with my dad is like have him, do things for us, so at least I can like supervise him as we do it.
Yeah, like a little kid.
Yeah.
That's one thing about getting old. You're like a little kid again. When you're a kid, your
Yeah.
parents ordered you around, and now when you get old, your kids order you around.
Yeah, but I mean, it's stuff that you don't usually use in your like everyday life. Like he's never used Uber before, he's never used Grab before. So yesterday he ordered our Grab, so you would just kind of get used
Yeah.
to like seeing what the screen does, finding the license plate of the car.
Yeah,
and
how
all
that
kind
all
of stuff.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some days like in Hoi An, like once we were on our last day and the weather, kind of calmed down, I was like, you go out by yourself for, like an hour or two and just walk around the city, try and not get lost. Because Hoi An's kind of like a smaller city,
Yeah.
it's not too intimidating. And we had walked basically the same road over and over again.
Yeah.
So see,
And-
you made it.
Yeah, I made it back to the hotel without getting lost or robbed or beat up. Anything.
So that's good. Fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you so much to Jen Wei for the super chat. Very kind of you. Great job, Alina's dad. So
Yeah.
many
I
compliments
figured
to you.
she'd pull a 360 on me sometime and leave me on my own.
What, to do the live stream?
Yeah, do the live stream.
Oh, you're fine.
That wasn't a surprise to me. Wasn't even prepared for it at all.
You just gotta talk. You
Yeah.
talk all the time.
Well, not on
Camera.
camera.
All right. Okay, guys, so let me flip the camera here. We're already been live streaming for an hour, actually, and we're not even, that far into showing you guys everything that I wanted to show you. So I feel like we should get on our way here. But yeah, I filmed just a little bit of the temple here to add into my main Hanoi video. That one will be a pretty epic and long one. Actually, don't know if this is how we get out of here. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat from Shane. Your dad missed the Grey Cup in Regina. He doesn't care about the Grey Cup. Neither of us, unfortunately, cares about the Grey Cup. We're not big sports people, but
Well, years ago we looked. My dad always looked at
Yeah.
that, and I looked at it
yeah.
with my dad and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, there you go. So you actually know more about the Grey Cup than I
Oh, yeah.
probably do.
We always looked at the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that for quite a few years.
Yeah.
I have other problems.
Other problems, yeah.
Like here.
Yeah. But thank you very much, Shane. Much appreciated. And hopefully the Rough Riders will do well. Oh, here you go. Your dad didn't grow up with cell phones. He remembers a rotary phone.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
That's true.
Or even before the rotary phone, the party line. There'd
The
be
what?
party line. 5 or 6 of us were on the same line. And when somebody rung us, you could ring from one party member to the other. Either too long, short, one short, too long. And then it's somebody, you want to phone somebody someplace else, you dial 0 to get the telephone operator, and she dialed the number for you.
Well, see, that's the fucking Stone Age for me. I don't even know what that is. I didn't have that. I don't even know
I
what that is.
grew up with no electricity, no running water, none of that.
And look at you now.
And snowed in. There's 2 winters we were snowed in and roads were blocked up with snow and didn't go any place.
Yeah, well.
And we didn't think anything of it. We're warm, heated with wood.
Yeah. Well, good. See, look at all the different like stages of development that you've lived through.
And look at me now.
Look at you now. Want to say a very big thank you to Shigeru once again. So sweet. Thank you for the super chat. I gotta get to work. Have a nice day, Alina and Dad. Thank you, Shigeru.
Yeah.
Very kind of you.
Thank you.
Hope you have a great day. Let's see here, guys. Well, somebody also remembers party lines. Tristan Stonger, he remembers party lines, could listen to everyone's conversations.
Yeah, we called that rubbernecking. We hear somebody's phone number go, so we gently lift the receiver up and listen to
Jesus, you guys
it.
have like no privacy.
That's
then.
entertainment.
Jesus.
No TV, so
Wow.
entertainment, rubbernecking.
Well, what I remember is dial-up, right? So it's like whenever somebody was on the internet, you couldn't use like the phone. So if you had like a house full of kids, they'd probably all like be on each other. Get off, like, you know, the internet. I want to call somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a different time. Thank you very much once again to Michael for the super chat. Does your dad follow you to your next country, Alina? I like your dad. Can I borrow your dad?
Yeah, you can borrow me.
There you go. He's up for hire.
Yeah, all I need is a place to stay and something to eat.
Yeah,
That's all I need. Somebody to look after me.
Exactly.
That I don't
so
get lost.
you can apply to my dad directly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Michael. And yes, my dad is coming with me to my next country. We're going to be traveling to 3 different countries together, moving relatively quickly. So I won't say where we're going just yet. Just my Patreon patrons know where that is. But yeah, we're going to be in our new country in more or less a week, maybe a little bit more than a week. So we'll be doing a live stream from there as well while I'm still putting out videos on Vietnam, just because, you know, there is still a lot to see and do here. So thank you very much, Michael. People think you're very funny.
Oh, they haven't seen the funny part of me yet.
Really?
I can tell some really good jokes.
Melissa says he could probably make really genius survival tip videos. No electricity, my goodness. Yeah, he would definitely survive in the wild better than I would.
Well, yeah.
I would die fairly quickly, I know that.
That's where I feel the most comfortable, out where there is nothing, not in the big city.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like you get, if I just dropped you in the middle of a city, you would be like, oh
Well, I'd
my
be
God,
lost.
where do I go? What do I do? You would have a time surviving, whereas me, I'd figure it out. But if you dropped both of us in the middle of nowhere in, like, I don't know, the forest or some shit,
Yeah.
or I'd have to build everything to survive, I'd die right away. He would live.
Yeah.
So it just depends. Thank you so much to Rahul for the super chat. That is so sweet of you. Thanks for the lovely tour of Hanoi. Please say hi to your dad on my behalf and let him know that I'm enjoying his Instagram account, his
Oh.
content.
It's not, I have a lot of improvement to do there. I'm learning. I'm learning.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Rahul. As always, thank you for the super chat. And yeah, for those of you who do not know or have me on Instagram, my account is just Alina McLeod, but I've been resharing my dad's Instagram account, which is the Wandering Old Timer. That's his handle for anybody who wants to follow him. And he's had an account for a while under a different name, but I told him that he should focus on posting on Instagram, you know, his trip for the time being, because even though he has aspirations of having his own YouTube channel, it's significantly harder to make YouTube content than it is Instagram content. So I was like, maybe you should just start a travel Instagram, you know, get comfortable with that, and then once, you know, you're good with Instagram, then you can move to YouTube.
Sure.
So if you guys want to follow him and support my dad on Instagram, it's the Wandering Old Timer. check him out. Jenway says your dad is going to be the next social media sensation.
Oh yeah, right.
And Colin says y'all are too cute. We still have my dad's old hand crank wooden phone that was on a party line also. That's quite a phone.
Oh yeah,
then.
that's a good memory to have.
Yeah, don't see those anymore. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip the camera here and we're gonna make our way across the bridge. And I'm gonna make a mention of a comment that I saw a couple times now where a few people were asking, is there still the turtle who lives in this lake? Because there's a sort of legend about this, you know, big turtle that lives in this lake. And it was actually real, where apparently this 100-year-old tortoise, like huge tortoise, lived in this lake, and once in a while they'd get like sightings of it. But it was 6 years ago, our guide was mentioning yesterday, that unfortunately, you know, they found the turtle's body after it had passed away. It washed up. So from their knowledge, there are no other turtles in here right now, but I don't know, maybe someday somehow one will appear. So there is like a certain urban legend about the turtles here, so I can't tell it to you guys exactly, but that's something that's connected to this lake. See here. Ukraine Deuce says, then introduce him to TikTok. No, I think TikTok is definitely it's probably not going to be my dad's thing. It might be a bit much. Oh, we got somebody from Holland here. Amazing. All right, so we are going to exit the temple and keep making our way. Let's go this way here. We're going to keep making our way to the bottom of the lake and then take you on some of the more large city streets that they have here in the more downtown center, making our way to the opera house that they have here, which is really beautiful. But until then, since this is a good time when we don't have to worry about traffic, we can go this way. I think this is a good time for you to finally tell the story of why you kept me waiting for a freaking week and almost gave me stress. I barely slept for 3 days. Like why you didn't make your initial flight. He was supposed to fly here, I think it was actually November 30th or December 1st.
On the Monday.
Yeah, and the $615 flight with Air Canada. Why, Dad, couldn't you get on that flight? Or first say what happened. You go to the airport, he's there like 4 hours early. And what do they tell you at the airport?
That passport was reported lost or stolen.
Yeah.
And I said, no, it expires 2029.
Yeah, so
that was the passport before that.
So my dad, goes to the airport. He's had his passport. That keep in mind the very important part of this story is that for Vietnam, for Canadians anyway, you need to apply for an e-visa.
Yeah.
So we had applied for an e-visa with that passport number, and it got approved. We also started an application for another visa. We won't say which one because we're saving the countries as a surprise. So
that got approved.
No, it didn't. It didn't yet.
Oh.
But at that time, we had already done 2 visas with that passport. And so he's at the airport, says he calls me or whatever on Messenger. It's his morning, my evening. I'm expecting him, to be leaving. And he calls me and says they're not letting me board the flight. They're saying there's an issue with my passport. And I'm like, how can that be? Well, what kind of issue can you have with your passport? And they're basically telling you, I'm sorry, we can't do anything. You have to go to Service Canada, right?
Right.
So then what do?
I go to Service Canada, and they said, they looked it up. That passport is invalid. It was reported lost. And I said, no, you have another passport that says expires 2031. Well, it was back in a safe place an hour away from the airport, which wouldn't have helped me anyway.
So what happened is about 2 years ago, my dad had applied for a new passport. His other one, had expired, so he
No,
applied.
it hadn't expired. I thought I lost it.
No. But I'm saying you got the new one that technically you. So, okay. To just clear it up, because I think some people might be confused. But basically, like, he had his passport that was good for like the next 10 years. And then he misplaced it. He lost it somewhere. And so if that happens, you are supposed to report it in case, somebody else gets a hold of it so they can't use it. So more or less when you do that, they cancel the passport so nobody can use it. So he then applies for a new one.
Yes.
Right? And then after he already has his new passport, he finds his old passport that he thought he lost.
Just in my filing cabinet,
Yeah.
where I had it.
So he finds the passport. Now this is the part of the story where, yes, I will agree, this part is not your fault. It should have been dealt with differently. Where he did call or go to Service
I went
Canada.
to the office, Service
Yes.
Canada.
He went to Service Canada, and they're supposed to confiscate the passport. If you bring in a passport that is like, expired or one that you reported lost, they're supposed to confiscate it. You're not supposed to be able to hold on to it. But for whatever reason, they let him hold on to
They
it.
let me gave it back to me.
So as you can see, what happened is this guy got confused which one was the expired one and which one was the new valid passport
Yes.
that he had. So not only was he not able to make his flight because obviously he had the wrong passport that you can't travel on, but all the visas and like all the things that I applied for with that passport are now invalid.
That's what happens when you get old.
Like when he told me, I almost burst out laughing because it was that ridiculous. Because here I was thinking that, oh my God, are you on a most wanted list?
Yeah, I
that they
could have been.
canceled
I
your
don't know.
passport? Because I'm just like, what reason would they have to not let him board the flight and telling him to go to Service Canada? I'm just like, the fuck did he do? Like, he's not going to be able to come at all. Like, what in the world is going on? And then, yeah, he calls me after he goes to Service Canada. Or no, you wrote me on Messenger. You're just like, Alina, I fucked up. I really fucked up.
But we're laughing now.
God.
It makes for good YouTube content. The story,
I was like, are you kidding me?
no, I'm not kidding you.
So yeah, thankfully, he like still had his passport, because then I was like, okay, well, do you know like where your actual real passport is?
Yeah.
And so thankfully he kind of remembered, I think I have like my other expired passports in this like pouch that he had left at his friend's place. So we had his friend like go, search through his stuff, and yeah, he found it. And so my dad had also like left his truck, in the small town where his friend is staying, and had his friend drive into Saskatoon. So he had to have his friend come back in, like come get him, come bring everything. And then I had to reapply for the Vietnam visa as quickly as possible, because it takes like 3-4 days for it to be approved. And then I was also worried we maybe wouldn't be approved because it's the same person but applying with a different passport. I'm just like, are they going to think that that's a red flag? Like, we emailed them trying to explain the situation.
Explained it to them.
Yeah, so that happened. And then obviously, since with Air Canada, I thought that ticket was, worst case scenario, like he would just have to have that as lost money. Like, it is, your fault where you missed the flight for your own reasons. So technically they could have just, not given him anything for it. But basically what ended up happening is, since the flights with Air Canada were extremely expensive, like to change the flight with Air Canada for the routings they had were like $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah, 3,000 or 4,000.
Like insanity for a one-way flight, and that's economy. Obviously we weren't going to do that, so they gave him his $600 in like a voucher that he can use later, so it's not completely lost, so that's fine. And so I ended up finding him another flight. Once the Vietnam visa got approved, I wanted to wait till the visa was approved. I got him a flight with Cathay Pacific for like $1,500 one way, but it was premium economy.
Which is more room, better meal, everything.
Yeah, so if you count the $600 as not lost, basically, you know, you paid an extra $1,000 for your mistake.
And I'll just have to go the next 3 years, one meal a day to make that up.
No, it's fine. I mean, we all make mistakes. It's fine. I've done some stupid shit in, you know, my time. But like this one was just, it was just on the edge of like ridiculous.
I think she told them her dad had dementia and Alzheimer's.
I was actually going to call Air Canada because they basically told him, you know, I'm sorry, like, you know, there's nothing we can do. All our flights are this price. I'm just like, maybe if I call them and like make a sob story of like, I'm sorry, like he has dementia, like, you know, he's not doing well. Like, is there anything else you guys can do?
This is the last trip he may ever take. She's an actress
I
too,
didn't end up doing that because I'm just like, no, it's fair. I understand, like, you know, why you guys have your policies. You're already doing enough for us. So, yeah, that's the story, guys. That is the crazy reason of why I then had to wait a week, you know, for my dad to get on the next flight. But that whole week I was so stressed because I had to like cancel. I had booked the next month basically of everything we were doing, like in domestic flights here, hotels here, like everything I had already booked. So the hotels, thankfully I was able to, you know, change without losing any money, but we did lose money on one of the domestic flights that we had here. So yeah, like I had to change everything. I also didn't know, you know, when he was gonna get here. So that was stressful. And then I was literally like messaging you every 3 hours. I'm like, are you on the flight? Did you make it to this place? I was like constantly checking on you of like, just get on the flight. I just need you to get here. So yeah. That's our story, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned from my dad's mistake of if you ever lose a passport or like, you know, call it in lost, hand over that passport. Don't keep it so you can, you know, have the same mix-up of forgetting which one's valid and which one's not.
And double check that your passport is valid. Even if it's got a expiry date into the future, still check.
Still check. So that's our story. Hope you enjoyed it. He's here now, so you know, everything's good.
And I'll never hear the end of it. Ever.
I mean, like we said, it's a funny story.
Wasn't funny at the time.
No, it wasn't funny at the time. I was laughing more than you were laughing. I could tell how upset he was at himself.
I was upset at the airport. I said, look, it's not expired to 2029.
Why can't I get on the plane?
Why can't I get on? Is there anything you can do? Anything. This is important.
Fuck's sakes. Okay. All right, guys. So yeah, that was a very long-winded explanation of what happened, but it was great. So we're gonna flip the camera here, and we're gonna keep on heading on through the park here and see what all we can show you guys. But yeah, I see some comments in here of some other people that have made some silly mistakes as well. So you're not the only one, Dad. You're not the only one, no.
Okay.
Mistakes happen. There we go. Oh, just wait. Sorry. Thank you. Mel's vid says, I had to deal with Service Canada this summer, getting a passport. What a shitstorm. So much stress and lots of waiting. Terrible time. Sorry to hear that. Yeah,
Here I thought I was the only one.
No, there's others.
There's
Not
others
just
that
you.
have problems too.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We got 242 people on the live stream right now. Very cool. So in this area, maybe you can't see with the quality of the live stream here, but there's a whole bunch of border guards in this area on the other side of the street because there's a lot of like government buildings here. And technically I think it's like, you know, maybe not illegal isn't the word, but you shouldn't take pictures or like videos of like government buildings and stuff. But since we're on this side of the street, I think it should be all right. Another interesting thing of a difference that I noticed between Saigon and Hanoi is that obviously you'll see the Vietnamese flag everywhere with like the red flag with the star, but right beside it, if you can catch that, is like a communist flag. I definitely did not see that in Saigon, but here in Hanoi, being kind of, you know, the capital city and being where the revolutionaries were, that's probably why. My dad pointed to the trees here. Look how they're extending, yeah. Growing quite literally into the water. Pretty crazy. But yeah, this is a really lovely walkway. This would be a great place to like go jogging, and you do see some people jogging. Yeah, jogging all around this lake. Oh, and you see the little people in the little tricycles. That's very cool. Nightwing says, having 2 passports, your dad is like Jason Bourne of the Bourne Identity, you know that show?
Okay.
Yeah. Except just one works. That's the difference.
I had 4 of them.
Well, just one works.
Yeah.
Yes, Ramaki, unfortunately the quality is 720. That's the highest that YouTube will let us stream, and from an iPhone. Unfortunately, this is the best quality I can do right now. There's supposed to be some kind of network called Prism or something that can let you stream 1080. I am actually going to look into that. You do have to like pay, you know, a monthly fee to have it, so I'll actually look into it because I would like to stream higher quality for you guys, but I just want to make sure that it doesn't, you know, affect how easily it is to connect to the YouTube streaming platform, because it's a platform that you can use for like Twitch and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how compatible it is with YouTube. So interesting to see all these people in like proper winter coats here. It's funny because like when I was in Saigon and, you know, going to the mall and stuff, and you go into Zara and whatever, and you see all the winter gear, and I'm like, who is wearing this? Who would wear like a cashmere sweater or like a winter coat, at least in the weather that we were having in Saigon? I'm like, there's no way. Like, who is even the market for this? But then I guess here in northern Vietnam, yeah, I guess you could wear that kind of stuff here. Makes sense. But I think for the mid part of the country down to the south, you would be sweltering if you were wearing that. So I don't know. But you actually like the heat, don't you, Dad? You like plus 30.
Oh yeah, I can have a 30 years.
Yeah, my dad, even in the summertime in Saskatchewan, he'd wear like big overalls and a big bunny hug or whatever, and it's fine for him. Whereas with me, if I wore that kind of stuff, like, I would be so uncomfortable. So we are coming to the end of the lake. I'll give you guys one last view. Really beautiful area, goes all the way around. Basically, we just walked from the top down to the bottom. So it's a long ways. So it would probably take like a good half hour at least to walk around the whole of the lake. Got some joggers coming here. Oh good, Harriet and Jim said Prism is very compatible. It works well on YouTube. Other YouTubers use it. Okay, great. I will have to look into that because yeah, I would like to live stream 1080 for you guys, though it will take more data, I know that. So I'll have to make sure that I always have a big data plan. Oh, are we gonna make it, do you think? Yeah, okay, let's just wait for the next one. We'll just wait for the next one, yeah. No point running across the street. So as you guys can see, there is a beautiful building right in front of us. It is the Trang Tien Plaza. Very beautiful luxury mall. We used it, not used it, we went to it just a few days ago. Yeah, we got a green light. Oh, we gotta watch. Gotta watch. One sec. Yep, we're good. All right, yeah, we went to it a couple of days ago. Really beautiful. But yeah, almost all like the fancy luxury sort of stores. Beautiful Christmas tree inside. So that's kind of one of the main shopping centers here in the downtown part of the city. And where we are going right now, from my understanding, is the more affluent part of Hanoi. This is also where you'll find all the 5-star hotels, really fancy restaurants, all kind of near the Opera House. So of course accommodation is probably going to cost more in this area on a whole compared to the old quarter. But see, I would still, if I came back here, I would try and stay near this area because I just prefer to have, you know, these more open sidewalks, and they do have like some good restaurants in this area as well. And you're still only about like a 15-20 minute walk from the old quarter if you wanted to go there for food, since the restaurants probably are better there. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents of where to stay if you visit Hanoi. So there we are. Tung says take the double-decker bus. It will go through the most beautiful streets of Old Town. Yes, actually the double-decker, you know, tour that they have in a lot of cities does look really great here, and I think it would be a good way to see the city. I think it's like $7 or $8 US for an all-day ticket that, you know, you just get on the bus at different kind of main tourist stops, and that's your transportation for the day, and you get a good view from the top of the bus. So, and I guess you get a tour or whatever, audio guide. So that's another nice way to see the city. These green stores, maybe we should try this after the tour. This looks like a famous ice cream shop because I've seen these like locations all over the city. People eating ice cream even in slightly cold weather. It's called Kem Trang Tien. And yeah, it looks like a must-do kind of thing. I don't know, should we do that now? Or the lines are maybe too long. This, I don't know what this is. It looks like either a school or a movie theater. Bunch of kids coming out. Some kind of convention hall. I don't know. Do you want ice cream right now?
It doesn't have to be right now, but we should try it sometime.
Yeah.
When we're here.
Yeah, actually it might be a little bit tricky, guys, to live stream and do it right now. We'll try it later, but that is, yeah, like a famous chain you gotta try. Where are all these children coming from? Oh my goodness. I don't know if it's a school or like a convention.
It's a training center.
Yeah,
I think it's sort of school.
yeah. Very crazy. All right, well, I guess let's get around and we will keep going to the Opera House. Let's see here. There we are. For anybody wondering about the population of Hanoi, online it said 5 or 6 million. Dad, do you think we'll make it? Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, online it was giving me 5-6 million in the number of different articles that I looked at, but our tour guide yesterday said that it's closer to 9 million. So, you know, I obviously believe her word above theirs since she actually lives here. So yeah, that's actually quite a larger population than I was expecting, since Saigon is still the largest city in... No, thank you. Since Saigon is the largest city in Vietnam, this is the second largest, but still 9 million people, like that's a very, very big city. One thing that I want to point out for anybody who is thinking of coming here and let's say they use a Canadian bank, go to MB Bank. I think it was in my last live stream I was saying how I used Citibank and I used HSBC and they were charging me kind of high fees to take out money. MB does not charge fees. So if you come here, go to MB Bank. Both me and my dad haven't had any issues with it, so that's a suggestion. Huh? Yeah, the Hanoi City tour bus. Lovely. All right. Well, guys, I think we are going to make our way to the Opera House. It's this like beautiful traffic circle up here too. And I think we're probably going to end the live stream there because we have been going for basically an hour and a half already. So we've done a pretty epic walk and talk here in Hanoi. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions or comments you want to make, we'll probably be closing up here in the last 10 and in the next 10 minutes. So just enter it in the chat now. Probably the next live stream, let me flip the camera here. Probably the next live stream that we're going to do is going to be in our next country, in the next destination, because tomorrow we have a tour of Halong Bay. So exciting, we're doing the cruise, and then we're gonna go to Ninh Bình when we come back, and then right away we're going to our next destination. So yeah, this is gonna be my last live stream of Vietnam for the time being. So we'll see you guys, you know, in a couple weeks in our next country. Saw a comment here. Indian Mastiff asks, did you get any clothes made in Hoi An? No, we did not, but that is a very cool thing that you can get done in Hoi An, where it's known for their textile manufacturing and also like the bespoke suit making. So if you ever needed, you know, custom made clothing for a reasonable price, they do say that Hoi An is like one of the best places in the world to get clothes made. But yeah, me and my dad have plenty of clothes, so we did not have any clothes made there. Shane asks, gonna visit John McCain's prison cell. We did yesterday. Well, I mean, not his particular prison cell, but yeah, we went to the no thank you. We went to the famous prison that they no thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
They have the famous prison here. So, all right, guys, take in this beautiful view that we have here of the traffic circle that is right in front of the Hanoi Opera House. That would be another really cool thing to do if you come here and like opera and ballet, is to take in a show there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so
Yeah,
much to
thank
everybody
you.
who sent us super chat. Much appreciated, and goes right back into me being able to do this as my job and show you guys around, and it will buy lots of snacks and drinks for my dad. All the food and drinks, they're on me, aka they're on all the beautiful subscribers that came out today. So thank you all
Yeah,
so much.
thank you very much.
And as always, I hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And I will see you we will see you in a couple of weeks from the next country that we are in. And you can expect a new video. I'm waiting on a sponsor to approve the video that I have for next week. So somewhere Monday through Wednesday, there will be a new video. So check it out. Sending you guys lots of love, and keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.